We rallied around it to people saying that this music is our music. And, it was, it was our voice, but it got changed. And it got changed so that we could change. So it went from, hip hop and, being a message of, the streets, the struggle, talking about what's going on, to where it is now. Those positive messages and those messages of encouragement are, too far in between. Like, we don't get them these days. And it's like, where the fuck all our singers go? All our singers is rappers, and they're not singing about loving black women anymore. They're not singing about begging black women anymore. They're singing about disrespecting black women, and like everything has changed. And then now you gotta look at it and say, well, how is that going to benefit us as a people? How is it going to really benefit us? And now it's everything. It's the entire culture now. You see it on Facebook, see it on Instagram. It's consuming every little thing. Whereas every beautiful girl we see that's black is on there shaking their ass. Teaching black women, all you got to do, go get a BBL and go find you a baller. That's it. You might end up on Love and Hip Hop. You might end up on Love and Basketball or some shit like that. You might end up on one of these reality shows, or you might blow up on social media and just have a huge following of people who's just following you because you got your ass done, basically. And this is what we're telling black women. This is what you can do. This is all that's out here. And there's not enough promotion for something different, for the alternative. So with the success of, 50 Cent and the shows he put up, BMF and stuff like that, this again, is showing us that this is the alternative. This is what you got to do. And it's keeping us in a place. And then what you have to understand is who's controlling that place. Who is controlling that we are putting out all this stuff. And then you look back and see the trap. And it's so big and it's so creepy and crazy when you really examine it. It's mind boggling, but it is what it is. It's a trap, and we've been falling for it. We still in it. And it's, some of you right now disagree. Oh, hip hop is this. And it's, wait a minute. It's not hip hop. Hip hop is this thing and rap is this. Hip hop and rap are two different things. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. It don't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what we're listening to, what's driving the culture, is not benefiting us as a people. It's just that simple. So we really get into economics a lot. And I want to talk about what I put in the back of the book, which you'll see a lot of people are going to be happy about it. So in the back of the book, what I did was, because we get into economics a lot, so we get into some of the stuff we talked about in personal economics. And what I wanted to do was give you guys an economic plan, goals. Like, you're not going to really think about all this stuff. You're not. It's just tough for people to understand because we're not taught this. So I had to teach it. And it's going to be better for you to have it in a book so you can see it daily. You can open your book and read and see these steps and what you need to follow. It's what I did and it's what they do to get to where you at. I'm stinking rich. I'm rich because of these steps, and I just can't put it no other way. I use these steps. So I break down what you need to do. One, how you need to structure your finances. That is huge. How you need to have these separate accounts. So I break this down for you guys in the book. And these separate accounts is important of how you live your life. Everything you do is driven by your money. So your income, that's you. That's what you got. That's you. That's what you can do. No matter what it is, that's you. Whether you go to the club with it, whether you buying clothes, that's you. That's how you're going to live. Your life is based on that money coming in. So you really need to understand how much money you really have coming in. For some people, it's going to take you, you have to calculate things. Well, mostly everybody, but people money fluctuate, but it's amount that you're going to be guaranteed to get a month. So you need to know that number. You need to know what your expenses are, because most of you don't. Most people, we got money. If I got 10,000 in the bank, I got 10,000 in my pocket. And that's how people look at it, and they don't understand how to break it down. So like I tell people, I pay myself a salary. Just because I have all this money, I don't just have all this money walk around in my pocket. No, I pay myself a weekly salary so I know what I got. If I go over that weekly salary, which I never do, then I'm broke, because I'm not just going to go. It fucks up the system. And this is what I mean by, we talk about this in the book, cheating yourself. It's the biggest thing we do. We cheat the hell out of ourselves, and you need to restructure your mindset around this plan that I laid out that's going to really benefit you, especially for you young people. I got a lot of young guys email me about a lot of stuff. But this is one of the things, especially if you're young, because you're starting out. You need to structure yourself like this. And it's how I talk to my son. And, structure, his finances this way, because like, to me, this is the only way. This is the way that's going to benefit you to grow and to be, responsible, and to not be, to pay your bills, to not even have to worry about your bills. If you follow these steps, you're not going to have to worry. And it's around that time, a lot of you guys get income tax. And I talk about this in personal economics and how you can really grow from that. It should be no way in the world. A lot of you, I think they're giving back $8,000 per child this year. There's no way a lot of you should get that chunk of money and blow it on a trip or on a bag, Louis bag, Gucci, whatever, and just not be able to use this money to grow. So yeah, back of the book. After we get through all the stuff, we break this down. We get into a lot of it. I think if you don't get the book for anything else, you want to get it and understand the economic part of it and how you can personally benefit from it following these steps. And I mix in, meditation steps on what you need to be dwelling on based on these points, these goal points that's laid out in the book. So I think a lot of people benefit from it. It's something that, like I said, you can open and look at daily and make sure you follow in those steps. And if you follow, there's no way you can fail. So of course, a lot of people worried about what's happening over there with Russia and everything. So I know you guys are waiting on that video from me. It's coming. I'm waiting for some things to happen. And, you can kind of sort of see, it's not a coincidence that, baseball season is delayed. It's not a coincidence that we have this war around. Like, none of this stuff is coincidence. You understand, stuff happens for a reason. But you also have to look at how, things are going to happen, in America. It's not going to be as quick as you may think it is as far as how this stuff is going to play out. And for the, end time Bible questions I get for a lot of people, I know you guys was talking about, how Rosh, in the Hebrew Bible, in Ezekiel 38 is talking about Rosh, and it's the Greek Rush, R-U-S, and people going to take that to mean Russia. And it basically does, but we'll get into it in the video, so you can understand, because you have to look at a lot of other things that, Rosh goes to. You have it really translate to head. The first time we see it in Genesis. And in the Hebrew, it's talking about when the Bible says, your head or bruise his heel, talking to the serpent. So it's talking about the head of a snake. So serpent's head, but still head. So you got to look at that, and you got to understand that you still have Rosh Hashanah or Rosh Hashanah. And that's basically beginning of the new year. And which one is it? And you're going to have people move that all over the place, but I'm going to break it down in the video so you can understand what that gets into. Definitely Ezekiel, which is talking about this. It's talking about, how Israel was going to be attacked by air. And, these nations are supposed to come together and try to go into Israel. And, it's when the end of the world, Jesus is supposed to come back and all this stuff. So it's no way now, when you really paying attention, you can't see how this is an agenda. As I said on Instagram, you got to understand, you don't think these people read the Bible? You don't think they know what the Bible say? And it's you don't think they know this shit? They're saying all these conspiracy videos, and I hate to say that, but all the videos people put out, these end time videos, I should say, you don't think they know this shit? They know this stuff. Come on. You got to really pay attention to what this really is. It's exactly what we knew it was going to be. And by now you should see. It's not a coincidence it's talking about, in Matthew. It's going to be disease, famine. It's taking place here. It's coming. Pay attention. So we're going to get into that. And it's going to be one of those deep videos again, that I put out. So a lot. And they showing you. It's not going to go down the way you think it is. It's just not going to happen like that. And, it's really going to come down to the people. That's what it always comes down to, really. And the reaction, because you can't imagine. Just follow your mind. You can't imagine looking at Russia today, where you have 100,000 Russians in the street protesting the war, and they don't want to go to war. When, as I talked about, Russia that's what they're known for. You can't invade that place. It's not just the military you have to fight. The people will fight. Same with the Ukraine, even though 500,000 supposedly fled, but we don't really know. what's going on. It would have been a perfect time if Russia wants to really attack the people. If they wanted to attack the people, if they wanted to do something, that would have been a perfect time when you have, hundreds of thousands of people, trying to flee. And, we're going to get into, black people, they're not letting us out. I question black people in Ukraine in the first place, but we was everywhere before them. So, who knows? Who knows? I remember driving through Sweden and middle of nowhere in Sweden. Talked about this in one of my videos. Middle of nowhere in Sweden, pull over to get gas, go into this gas station and walk through the door, and my mouth just dropped because this black dude behind the counter. And he looked like he was American. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he was telling me, my family been here forever, like generations. He tracked his family back like he knew, like they've been here for hundreds of years, probably thousands. He's like, yo, he was talking about the history he has, and just like everybody knew his family, and they owned the gas station with the restaurant next door. Blew my mind. I took a picture with the guy and everything. Blew my mind. So I was just like, it was good to get that knowledge and to know, like, listen, we've been everywhere. I talked about the royal family, Sweden, and just everything that was going on around that time. We've been everywhere. So who knows, how long black folks been in the Ukraine in that area. But it's a lot to understand. The Bible thumpers, the end time people understood. It's like, we're not saying that it doesn't look like it, but it's not, the biblical stuff, and Jesus ain't coming back on a white horse and all that stupid shit. But you need to understand how that's breaking down. It's like I said, come on. You don't think they notice why they in such a hurry to bring about Armageddon? What is that? It don't make sense, but I'm gonna make it make sense. So, whoever it was that emailed me about that question, I got you in the video. And it's a lot. It's a lot to get into because there's a lot that's happening, and it's a huge economic side to it all, which is almost the main point of it. But it's still a lot of stuff you got to look at. It's still a lot of stuff going on. And then a lot of things you have to think about is, okay, so they're trying to say that Russia's trying to bring back the whole old Soviet Union. For what? For what? And you can't really do shit at this point. And you're surrounded by NATO countries, and you step foot or do anything on certain lands, then they're coming for you. But Israel is supposed to be attacked by multiple nations. So at some point, it's supposed to be nations supposed to come together against Israel, and Russia is the head of it. But how is that going to happen? Who are these nations? And you only can think of, possibly Arab ones. And is Iran, going to join, or Afghanistan? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So we got to look at how all this stuff is playing out and how, it fits. So, we don't know. Just got to look and see. But yeah, make sure you guys grab the book if you want it, signed copy. Once the pre-orders are sold out, that's it. It's going to come down until, later on. Yeah. Also, I know a lot of people asked about the old book. It's available. Go ahead, grab the pre-orders. Those books will be out, So pre-order is all going to come out at the same time, March the 18th. And appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and see you guys next video.